everyone. This is Healthful Trans Elder, and in this video I just want to talk about just settling down, trying to take a big breath. I just finished a little over a 5K. I'll put my stats right up here. I did that on my other channel a lot because I did things about what was going on with me in the canyon, what's next, about what's on with life. That was my kind of one of my mentors, someone I looked up to as an elder. His name was Norman Lear, and his philosophy is that we live in the moment. What's over is over. We got to get over it, move on. What's next is what we move to, and in the middle is we live in the moment. And if we can do that healthfully and in peace, that's the best. That is absolutely the best. Now, where I live and what I do and how I did my thing and how I did my transition several years ago, I started to explain in this video a little while ago, a couple days ago. But then there was this event that happened. Now, my videos are primarily for me, and I gave up on the idea that I was going to be doing anything outside of documenting what I called, from one of my other mentors, I won't go there, but the idea of observing the phenomenon of aging is also something that fascinates me. It's not that I'm aging, because I am, but I have another ability. I have a very unique kind of mind in regards to how I process things. It's called an eidetic memory. Some people say it doesn't exist, but I do believe it does. I think if you watch that show, The Big Bang Theory, that was kind of what I relate to in regards to an eidetic memory. But in regards to that part of how I function, it could be called all kinds of things mentally, but I don't forget things that have happened in my life, and I build on them so I seem to be able to observe and objectively put things a little bit more in order, only because I can go back and look at those videos that are in my brain and process them and look at the changes about the way things have happened today. And I think that's where we talk about aging and where wisdom comes in, and how if we can use what we've learned in the past and build on that, versus sticking to what we had in the past and insisting that everybody live by those old by those norms or those standards. I think that you get stuck, and by moving forward and going on to what's next is how you get unstuck. Now, hopefully I'm not rambling here, but I am going to keep this video as it is. So in lieu of all of the things that have happened in the last couple days, some of the things that I have learned in my journey is that when things get so ugly, when they would become surfaced, and those with the level of integrity that can see them for what they are, they will eventually be corrected to what should be for us as humans here on this planet. And we have evolved to that point. Now, we've had these ups and downs, but primarily we have to shine the light on some of these events and these particular lines and consciousness levels that dwell in those levels of consciousness that are in the attraction to hate, an attraction to fear, an attraction to violence. Now, in my mind, if you are attracted to those things, they give you the juice that you need to keep on doing it. I mean, that's dopamine, I guess. Somehow we get this thing in the middle of our brain, and the hypothalamus is instructing us to do all these things that keep us going and get us all excited. Well, I get a lot of my dopamine by trying to get beyond that wall and what I do in exercise. Now, that's one of my therapies. I get my drug every day. I get my dopamine. After I hit that wall, I can keep going. I showed you my stats here a few minutes ago, and that that's the drug I need to kind of stay sane, but also stay healthy. So I found that that's great benefit to try to make sure that I keep that exercise going. Now, I'm rambling here, I think, so I'm going to try to get back on subject having to do with my mental state after watching all of these things that have gone on. I'm somewhat estranged, and I've gotten over it. If you have experienced estrangement, especially from family, it doesn't get much better. Actually, it may later in life, maybe if the society, maybe if things change, the culture changes. But for a younger crowd, for the younger people who are looking at who are like I was, if they see me or knew me as who I was before, having to accept who I am now, although they love me and everything, it's just not in their norm. It doesn't fit the culture that they seem to be in today. So that's part of the estrangement. There's no animosity, there's no meanness. It's just the acceptance that that kind of bond, that love that was there before is not there anymore. It's there as a sibling or as a relative by association, but for any other thing that is in my heart, it's selfish that I want their attention. And I'm not getting that, and if I want to dwell on that, then that doesn't do my head any good. So I had to accept it. I had to move on, and that's sort of like a grieving thing, isn't it? Yeah, it is. So, no dirt today. Well, that's pretty good because the roads were all wet from this monsoon one. Usually I have to pull out my sweat cloth and wipe my legs down because I have dirt and everything from these dirt roads around the farm all over my legs, and I don't want to carry that all over, but I still do that anyway. And so that is part of my video today, an introduction into where I'm going to go with this video. I think later on I'm going to talk a little bit more about estrangement. I also want to leave this video with the fact that join the community if you have an opportunity. I'm just starting this channel, and again, it's observing myself. I know it's going to be probably silly in a few years when I look at it, but that's okay. If you want to go join in the community, I'll talk about anything. I'm an open book. As a matter of fact, I am a book in the Human Library. You'll find a link that in the description below. I'm publishing on the end of this month. It'll be on a Tuesday, and I'm published out of Germany. Not Germany, excuse me. Look at the link below, and you'll see where I'm going to be published. Wow, this is a retake because it finally got quiet here in the canyon. They're trimming trees and weed whacking, and the humidity is really high right now. I had to change out of my wet clothes, and I'm going to finish this video with this. These are my root burrows, and I have these on another channel. I shapeshift these. They're called shapeshifters, and I sculpt them. So I'm an artist in that manner, and I keep that channel just primarily with this now, because of the current events, and this is what people would rather see. But on this channel, I want to just continue on with who I am, documenting being healthy, being a transgender elder, and just perhaps opening the community and talking about anything that we might have in common as we age and grow old together on YouTube. So anyway, thanks again. Hope to see you again. Like if you'd like, and subscribe if you'd like to hang in there with me and see how big this channel grows. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.